Alright, so welcome to another episode of Intelligent Nutrition with Tito. It's nice to have you back in the studio. Yes, I know you missed me. I've missed me too. So today we're going to be talking about something very interesting. But before we get to the topic of the day, I want to introduce our guest. With me in the house, I have Dr. Victor Agbo, right? I'm sorry. He's a family physician at Moriah Medical Center, Ashi, in the Ilu of Ibadan. So together we're going to be discussing something very important, very interesting, and I know it will cause a little controversial, but you know me now, I don't care. So today we're going to be discussing about herbal concoctions, fondly called by the Yoruba people as Agbo. I don't know what it's called in every other part of the world, but hit me up and let me know what it's called. But before we get started, let's take a little break and let's talk about Agbo. You know the drill now. Don't swipe up, don't swipe down. I'll see you soon. Alright, welcome back. Welcome to the studio, Dr. Victor.
Thank you.
So something you should know is Dr. Victor is like my favorite doctor. He's like my personal person. Alright, so Dr. Victor, it's nice to have you in the studio. So the topic Agbo, like we fondly know. My first question to you is, as a medical practitioner, what is your personal experience with some of these products?
You know, there's what we call self-care,
Okay.
which is what the patient or the patient's family would engage in prior to showing up in the hospital.
Okay.
So our people do a lot,
Okay.
from taking water to taking palm oil,
Okay.
to going to various other concoction that is prepared,
Okay.
both by, in quote, skilled tradomedicals,
Okay.
to maybe the oldest woman in the house.
Abi.
You understand? So Agbo is part of what we've been using for a long time. Now, from hospital-based experience,
Okay.
we often get to see the complications from its use.
Yeah, that's my.
You know, so usually those who claim they used it did the desired miracle, they're not likely to show up to see me. But persons who have made use of it, stayed at it, and the cases go bad, some vital organs get affected, that's the point at which they present, often maybe with toxicity or non-response to the desired health benefits that they wanted. And sometimes it's quite painful when someone has a surgical pathology, meaning that this issue, even for us as doctors, we are not going to give drugs alone. A surgeon's knife may need to come into the picture to enhance well-being. You know, so they come really bad. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Okay, so that tends to be the bulk of cases we see within the hospital. Outside the hospital, people say a lot of beautiful things about Agbo, but hospital-based experience, Agbo is not funny.
Because I personally have an experience. I had a client reach out to me on Instagram, and she told me that she had pancreatic stones. Is there anything like that? I can't remember. Yeah, but she said my doctor likes surgery too much, but I found one Alagbo on Instagram that would help me. What's the word? Will help me shrink it. Is there anything like that? Do they shrink? I know that you can shrink kidney stones, but I'm not sure you can shrink pancreatic stones.
So what's the outcome now?
I mean, I never go back to
Well,
that.
you need to follow up on that client, because if for any reason we are talking about an obstruction around the head of the pancreas, prognosis is poor. You understand? Prognosis is poor. So, but early presentation would help for hospital-based intervention.
Okay.
So please follow up. Let's be sure what we have in our hands.
So that takes me to my second question. So how potent are these concoctions actually? Are they, a lot of people claim it works. They tell you it's technical, it does this, it does that. They swear by the drugs, but how for people who it actually works for them? Is it? Are we sure it's not just placebo effect? Does it actually work?
Okay, you know, potency is a spectrum from no effect to low effect, moderate to highly potent. Now let's put it in perspective. What is the diagnosis? what exactly is the health issue for which this herbal concoction is being prepared. So that's when we now match, this is the health concern, this drug was given, they will now say, oh, cured, cured fully, cured partly, no impact at all. So the challenge we have is, you have a herbal concoction that is labeled for like 80% of the diseases I studied in medical school. Do you understand? Then we are still talking about potency. What's the dosage for it? What exactly is the active agent we are dealing with? Because sometimes there's a thin line between use of herbs and getting into divination and other forms of spiritualism. Do you understand? And many times people will even struggle to draw the line between both, because if it's an active agent, you're so sure of it, let's put it on the table, let's get the extract, let's have scientific basis for it. I mean, that's what the Chinese did to treatment of malaria when chloroquine failed the world. They brought out what they've had, the artemether based, it's been with them for ages. They brought it to the table, active agent was extracted. That's how you have the artemether that is being used to treat malaria today. So if we have these things and we claim fantastic, enormous potency, the trouble with modern medicine is that it must be evidence-based.
Yeah, it's true.
And so when we struggle with evidence, we are cautious making recommendation along that line, because we don't want to put our neck on the line. Some of us have license to protect. You understand? So that's where we have trouble with saying it's potent, it's not potent, because one, who makes the diagnosis? How are we sure we are not treating an illness that is self-limiting? Someone has a red eye, quite often it's virally self-limiting. Even if you do nothing, it's likely to clear. Your immunity will take care of it. So if you do what the Egyptians were doing in 1500 BC, it was the urine of a faithful wife, and it worked for most of them. Wow, sounds amazing to you. Yes, that was the treatment for conjunctivitis in 1500 BC in Egypt.
That's why they still told us when we were small that when you have
the urine of a faithful wife, and it did work according to them. Will you use this prescription today?
How do you know if she's not faithful or not? Okay, so if it doesn't work, then she has not been faithful. By the way, it means Apollo.
So you see how putting a statement on potency becomes so difficult, because the evidence
But I think another thing why they don't want to share their active agents is they claim that the pharmaceuticals and the medical experts will steal it. That's what they claim. That's what they claim. They say, oh, these are Yoruba people want to come and steal our drugs. That's what they claim.
Now, their claims, it's a realistic claim. But what do we do globally? Bring it out, you get a patent for it. So it will be exclusive for about 17 years, and thereafter, the whole world would access it.
So just 17 years.
Is that not long enough to make all your money?
I know, I want to pass the riches from generation to generation.
You can still pass it. You can still institutionalize it. But that's really what's done globally.
Okay.
That's what's done globally.
So I also want us to make emphasis on my next question. So what is the implications of what's the long-term implications of constant use of this?
Let's start by saying not all herbs are labeled toxic. However, we have the age-long challenge for the use of these things, in that we have trouble with dosing, we have trouble with duration of use, we have trouble with how it's packaged across different age group, we have trouble with how it's packaged across different patients with other comorbidities like hypertension, diabetes, renal impairment, to mention but a few. You understand? So these are issues that somebody just have a blanket check, take this bottle, drink, so it's a big challenge talking about the effect, the impact on individuals, because remember, the liver will receive all of this job for detoxification, and we are putting so much stress and strain on the liver, and nobody has two liver.
Yeah,
God gives all of us just one. And liver transplant is a billion-dollar industry. The person who is going for Agbo is unlikely to be able to afford it. So what we are saying is it has long-term implication on literally every system of the body, from the skin to the eyes to the kidney to the liver to even the central nervous system. We've seen persons go euphoric. You've seen people enter into acute confusional states with the use of these things, because there's a lot coming into the equation, from alcohol based, water based, active agent that we can't put our finger on the exact constituent, and different persons use to various lengths. There are people who have been on one for over a year, and nobody's checking the blood count, nobody's checking the impact on the kidneys. You get it. Yeah. So there can be a harmful impact, sure, but the challenge is, how do we measure? How do we assess? Because neither the prescriber nor the beneficiary of this prescription want to be engaged in the process of establishing evidence. Because trust me, there are a lot of things that a lot of research is still going on to solve, which some of our tradomedical brothers, or what one of my teachers calls senior colleagues, have solution to, according to them, but they are yet to bring to the table. And we even had frank cases. You said this drug cures all kidney problems, and we have people undergoing hemodialysis on a weekly basis. We have several that are ready to show up for it, but you know what, many of them have gone through it, and they even said the harm on their kidneys was through the use of some of this concoction. So it's a challenge. The other challenge we also have is that the practice of it is poorly regulated, especially in a country like ours. I can't go on air to advertise, I'm Dr. Elebo Victor Fisher, I'm the best in town, I will solve your problems. I can't do that. The regulation on our industry forbids this. Are you getting it? But these guys, they are in the airway, they are on the radio, they are on the internet, they're everywhere, and this thing is not censored. So we have a challenge in our hand. And then because culturally and historically they were first line. I know many times it is who you hear from first that you will believe. My grandfather heard from them first. You understand? Some of our illiterate people hear from them first, and because they have even unlimited access with current media, so they are just in front of our people on a daily basis. Yes. Now nobody is censoring the process. Nobody is checking who is certified to give this. Everybody can just come up and is declared a tradomedical expert.
Now they've even modernized it. They call themselves Idibias. They are practicing holistic medicine. That's what they say. But you see, their argument is it works for our forefathers. That's what kept them to live so long. And now
it worked for our forefathers, and we had massive under 5 death rates. We were having more children to replace the ones that died until immunization and vaccination processes.
Nobody records that one. There are no records. People don't know.
It worked for our forefathers. People died from illnesses that we just don't know. They told me God swallow, and they died. Diagnosis was not established. The impact of the herbs to worsen the illness was not. So there is a lot of work for our forefathers that we should be really of.
Alright. So my last question. This is this thing that they call Agbo Jedi or Kwaini. How? So I hear people say, "Oh, you drink too much Coke. You should drink Agbo Jedi." So I want to understand the relationship between the Agbo Jedi and the Coke. Is it that because I have too much sugar, when I now drink something bitter, it dilutes the sugar? I mean,
wow, it's an age-long trouble in the consulting room. We say in Southwest Nigeria that jedi is a diagnosis of exclusion. You know why? Someone has low back pain, it is jedi. Someone has external hemorrhoids, what laymen call pile, is what? Is jedi. Another person has enteritis, lose bowel motion, we say is what?
Jedi.
Another has dysentery, diarrhea with blood, we call it what? Jedi. Someone has vague tummy pain, is unable to put his finger on it, whether it's a peptic ulcer, says what? So we say that the diagnosis of Jedi, we have a lot to rule out. So when the patient says, I have Jedi, let me tell you, I don't take that again. You have to tell me the exact symptom. We have to put our finger on what exactly you're talking about. If it's a low back pain, let's address it. If it is a gastrointestinal disorder, let's address it. You understand?
Yeah.
And then drinking sugar, you see, there are all associations that let's leave it where it is. So the real issue is let's say what the problem is and let's solve it as it is, because things that come under that umbrella of Jedi, my sister, we can write a book on it. It can even be another discussion on its own. You understand? So, and then now we've come also to accept that since you have eaten so much sweet things, so your sugar in quotes has gone up. Let's use this herbal concoction that has an offensive taste
to crash it.
To crash it, to bring you back to
normal
equilibrium.
Okay.
So that the society promotes it doesn't make it right. You understand? Because interestingly, even if the sugar in your body in quotes goes up for a non-diabetic, the body would regulate it. There is the islet of Langerhans within your pancreas that will bring it back to normalcy just 2 hours after a meal. For a non-diabetic, sugar will come down. And who says it is Coca-Cola? Please don't blame this company. I don't have shares there. Who says Coca-Cola does not the new cause of diabetes? That's an error or rampage.
You know, when people like me talk, it's as if they paid you to do commercials. So I really try not to talk about it.
Okay, well, people like us are saying things that you can ask another doctor to confirm.
All right, Justin, thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thanks
it was
so
very
much.
difficult to get you, but thank you very much. You've made me happy today. All right, guys, thank you very much for joining. It's nice to have you. See you next time. Bye, guys.